how are we all? Yes, it's another Saturday, which means only one thing. Nothing else happens on a Saturday apart from the Edra Scrolls ramblings of a storyteller, Edra Tales Twitch channel live stream. We got there in the end. My name is Ken Boyter, but you probably already know that. You might not know that because you might not be watching Edra Tales Twitch live streams, but you just know that now because I've just told you. This is Loquacious, and yes, we are coming at you live Saturday mornings, 10 AM UK time. I also do two other streams. I do a game book where you decide how the story unfolds, and that is every Wednesdays at 6:30 PM UK time. And this Wednesday we are continuing with Cursebreaker Part 6. We are so close to defeating the evil queen. Is that what it is? Is it an evil queen? I can't remember, because I'm probably getting mixed up with our Friday sessions, 7 PM UK time, and that's when we live stream a video game, and we're actually doing Lost in Random, where I definitely know there's an evil queen at the end to beat, and we're so close to beating that one as well. So join us for the 3 live streams, which is 10 AM UK time Saturdays, 6:30 UK time Wednesdays, and 7 PM UK time Fridays. Good morning / evening to Lirin. How are you? Good morning, Jamma. Good evening from a train going. You're always on the move. I love it. Going to a seaside dinner after the second day of a comic convention in Taiwan. That sounds fantastic. I'll give you a little round of applause for that. Fantastic. How was the Comic Con? Good morning, Kemballism. No, Kemballisms. Yeah, Kemballisms. That sounds like, what is it, like a mannerism? You know, like, oh, Ken always says that, or Ken always does that. Oh yeah, that's a Kemballism. That's a Kemballism. Good stuff. I do know, just to let you know, I do know that Martha is actually at a cosplay convention today, so she won't be tuning in. And also Sally is, you could argue, not doing as an exciting thing, but she is decluttering her house. So she's off to the dump. Although some say that's very exciting. It is actually good to really declutter though, isn't it? Get rid of your possessions that you no longer use, give some to charity. You know, it's really good for your health, and I need to do that in my place actually. I've got to the stage where I'm stacking things on things, you know, especially books, and I kind of need to just have a good look at everything. I need to go through my wardrobe and decide whether or not I need to wear, you know, I'm going to wear these anymore. I need to give the kitchen a really good clean. So much to do, so little time. She's going as Martha. That is right. She's going as Martha. It was smashing fun. In particular, a Taiwanese university club has produced a series of light-hearted Cthulhu 25mm miniatures, which I'm thinking of picking up tomorrow. Ooh, fantastic. Light-hearted Cthulhu. Oh, I see. Yeah, university club. Oh, that's cool. That's really cool. They've created these little Cthulhu miniatures. Yeah, no, that's fantastic. What else was I going to say? Yeah, no, it sounds like you had a great time. You know, these Comic Cons are really good fun. My only reservation with some of them is that they're too busy. I think, you know, that's a personal thing. Sometimes, you know, if you're not a big fan of big crowds, then you're going to struggle a little bit. And I'm a little bit like that. I can cope, but, you know, it gets to a point where you go, right, no, I've had enough. I need to be on my own now just for a little bit. So yeah, let me know if you're like that as well. And also I do know that Jonathan Green is actually, I don't think he's back, but he might be back, but he is actually in Cannes. Ooh. Yeah, he's actually in Cannes. I know Cannes lasts for about 2 weeks, I think. I'm pretty sure it does. So he's out in Cannes because he has a couple of his books are being translated, presumably into French, I'm not sure. But there was a publisher that's invited them over, him and Dave Morris. I think it's Dave Morris. So they're sort of attached to their stand So that's very exciting for Jonathan and Dave. I've heard of Dave. I think Dave's a game book writer as well, isn't he? I think Lirin and Jam, you would know. You probably know Dave, I don't know. Cuddly Cthulhu figures, humans and monsters that can be used as heroes, and apparently their comics and board games are a hit on the Europe's Comic Cons as well. The rulebook for their board games are in English, German, Mandarin and Japanese too. That sounds fantastic. That's the thing. I was just thinking this morning. Well, I was chatting to Sally actually this morning. You know, about doing the creative stuff, and it, you know, well, Jam, you know how about this as well, about not getting too down about it. I think I had a little epiphany actually about, in my head, you know, previously you'd go, oh, I'm going to make this. Oh, and it's going to sell loads. It's just going to sell by the bucketful because it's good. And the harsh reality is that isn't going to be the case. So you kind of, you know, it's demoralising. Or how do you look at it? This is a question. How do you look at stuff? You know, so if you create something and not many people buy it, is that still a success? I mean, what are you measuring success on? If for example, you spend a year writing a book and then you get 3 sales, you know, when you launch it, that's got to be a little bit depressing, hasn't it? I don't want to bring today's show down, but surely it has, hasn't it? And so where do you find the mental capacity just to go, right, I'm going to write another one? Good evening, Lord of the Merengue Frankenstein army. I like the sound of that. Merengue. Do you know what I mean? It's like, where do you find to go, yeah, okay, I'm going to keep going with the next one. I'm going to keep going with the next one. And I know, Jam, I think you've gone through that process as well. And I'll give you a good example. Our Story Spark cards, which I personally believe are excellent, are very, very good. 52 cards with fantastic and beautiful illustrations by Rich Nairn. You know, just lovely, gorgeous illustrations. And fantastic descriptions. Yeah? They're great. For story prompts, look at that. Create your own. You could create a short story just from that card. Yeah? Or if you take several of these, you can create a novel. So these are great. Yeah? Note for Ken, I never know how to pronounce his name. Zaradan in the Fight Fantasy books uses the magic known as, oh, is that what it is? Maranga, to stitch creatures together. Dr. Morris style, to scare the forces of good. Ooh. I think he's onto something there. Yeah, sounds like a good hobby to do. How's those creatures coming along? Well, I just need more Maranga. Yes, I'll get you some soon. Paranormal Hero 2 has a slight Asian theme to it. Oh, great. Some great folklore out that way. Yeah, that's something I've not delved into, the Asian folklore yet. And yeah, that's good, rich pickings for writers, absolutely, in stories. So, for example, we had something like, when we first did the original deck, which was the black and white mythical creatures, we had 77 backers. 77. So that's good. And we raised over £3,000. So that's great. And then you think, okay, cool, let's do another one then and build upon that audience. Well, what happened was we got 36 backers. And we hit our target again because I lowered the target because we didn't need as much. And we still hit our target. But then you do sort of go, huh. Okay, that's 77 to 36. That's a drop. So it can be a bit demoralising. Do you see what I mean? I guess you've just got to put that to one side. That's what I'm going to do. Just put that to one side. I switched to 25mm plastic dog's head. Already I like where this is going. To a 25mm gorilla, and vice versa. Inspired by Jam's army in Citadel of Chaos 4 years ago. Yeah. Fantastic. Yeah, isn't that in one of the fighting fantasies where it's the head of an ape? Is that Citadel of Chaos? Yeah. Is it Citadel of Thieves? No, Citadel of Chaos. So, that's the one, yeah. Aren't they guards? Malinka also had 77 backers. Ah, these people haven't claimed their stuff. Oh, right. Oh, 3 people. Yeah, I've got 2 people still outstanding on my one, Jeff. But do you see what I mean? But we had 77 and then we had 36. So you go, oh, did we do something wrong? I do think for that the timing wasn't brilliant because it was cost of living. So I think people were tightening in their belts, which is fair enough, obviously. And I always say, you know, if only buy stuff like our books or like our creative projects as cards if they can afford it. You know, don't not eat. You know, don't not pay your bills if you know and spend it on books if you can't. You know, cover all your bills first is what I'm trying to say. So I do think that it suffered because of that. So you do just have to keep going. Morale-wise, you do have to just go, you know what? The next project's going to do equally as well and better. You just have to have this sort of faith. And then it kind of is a bit baffling because when you know, I back these cards, Feline Fantasy Tarot deck, and he raised something like $280,000, and you kind of go, oh, okay. And these are smaller. They are cute cats, though. They are cute cats. So, I don't know. I'll crack it. I will crack it. Because when you do something, I mean, personally, when you create something, you do want to... you do want people to read it, don't you, Jam? You know, you want people to look at it. You want people to enjoy it, whatever it is. You know, whether you've made a piece of music or a book or, you know, you've baked a cake. It's like you want people to buy it and enjoy it. So there you go. So that was my little epiphany where you just have to go, okay, I'm starting small, you know. So, and also financial situation. Let me do this, and then we'll talk about the Hearts Book Festival. The Hearts Book Festival. We'll talk about that. So let's just do a Druid Wisdom card. Druid Wisdom card. We'll do a shuffle. I like to do this. You can't win them all. The first Jonathan I backed didn't fund. Oh, really? Wow. Yeah, I didn't know that. Or did I? I might have known it and forgotten it. What was that? Was that the... What one was that then? What was called that? Oh, there. T-minus 12 minutes. Oh, I see. To crunchy fried fish. Oh, you're making me hungry. Literally fresh from the seaside. That is amazing. Fish caught right next to the seaside is amazing, isn't it? Clemency Slaughter. Oh, okay. Interesting. Yeah. I know. And I've got to remember that, Gem. And thank you for typing that because... I've got to keep faith. I've got to just remember that it's very rare that someone has an overnight success. You know, like, it can happen, and I guess with Kickstarter it can certainly happen. Yeah, and now Jonathan's... Yeah, I don't know if I knew that, actually. I did know that Ollie Mack, you know, the Wilding Woods, I did know that he... No, the story... Yeah, story... Was it Story Masters Tales? He had, say, 2 or 3 failed Kickstarters to begin with. So, yeah. Okay, here we go. So I've just got to think, yeah, that's what's going to happen potentially. Oh, I think we might have had this one already. I don't know. There we go. It's going to be this one. Nice textured rock with a bit of moss and lichen on it. Lichen. Welsh waters. There's the symbol. Welsh waters. How you love yourself is... Hang on. How you love yourself is the first lesson you teach others on how... God, my eyesight. On how to love you. The waters reflect your nature in pure truth. Okay. How you love yourself is the first lesson you teach others on how to love you. Oh, okay. The waters reflect your nature in pure truth. Yeah, so how well you love you is how well other people are going to love you. Does that make sense? Very true, very true. I like that. Yeah. No, exactly, Jam. And also, the Kickstarters that I've done have been... I seem to create projects that aren't a thing. And so people don't know what they are, so they don't really buy them. That's my excuse. Maybe I'm sticking to it. So, for example, The Legends of Grimace Ironbloods is a 12,000 word verse. It's poetry. It's a fantasy poetry verse book, if you like. I call it a verse book because I think poetry might put people off. But it's all in poetry. It's all in rhyme. It's got 50 illustrations. So people, they're a bit confused. Oh, is it an RPG? No, it's not. Is it a novel? No, it's not. Is it a comic book? No, it's not. Oh, I don't really want it then. Do you see what I mean? And poetry isn't very well read anyway. So I sort of seemed to pick something that wasn't going to sell from the beginning. So there we go. And then the Story Spark cards, again, is it a card game? No, it's not a game. Is it a novel? No, it's not a novel. Oh, okay. Is it a... what is it then? Oh, these are cards that you just enjoy anyway. Just enjoy reading about mythical creatures or magical objects. Or if you're a writer, then they'll inspire you to write, and you can use them in your stories. Or if you're a dungeon master, you can use them in your games. So again, it's a sort of slight oddity. It's trying to be all things to all people, I guess, kind of. As opposed to, I've seen, like 5e, D&D 5e cards. Supplement your D&D campaigns. And they've really targeted on that. So maybe that's where it went wrong with those. A College of Inspiration. Yeah, exactly. That's exactly, hopefully, what they are. So, yeah, that's just my thoughts. But I am. It's how you react to it, isn't it? It's how you react to it. You've just got to go. You know what? I'm just going to keep going. I'm going to keep creating. So, Hearts Book Festival. I have filled in the form. Filled in the form for the registration. And I've given links to my biography and my YouTube channel and Edra Tales Twitch channel, and also given details of which books I'm going to be selling, and the Story Spark cards, giving details about that for their publicity. And also I've offered to do a few workshops actually using the card decks. So they would pick a card and then use... and then actually try and create a character from it or a little outline of a story from it. I think that's what we'll do, like a little outline of a story. If you've got an hour, we can just do an outline of a story. And then they can sort of go off and then hopefully create that short story. So that's going to be exciting. And that is where I'm going to be launching Of Magic and Monkeys. Launching it because this was a failed Indiegogo project. Which is always difficult to take when it fails. I don't think Indiegogo necessarily was the right platform for it, though, but we'll find out. So what I've decided to do, is, and again, this was the other thing, is I'm going to buy some stock. So I'm going to send off to the printers, say 20 copies of the hardback and maybe 30 copies of the paperback. Because again, it's like I haven't got loads of money to invest in these books up front, which is why you kickstart stuff. Because you're basically needing the money to pay the printer. That's what's, you know, in my case, or the artist as well. So that's the frustrating thing about it, is that, you know, I've got this book festival coming up, but have I got the cash to actually purchase the books up front? So I'm going to have to try and find that money from somewhere. I'm sure it will happen. I'm sure it will come. In fact, you know, I haven't yet distributed the profit from the Mythical Creatures deck. But Rich and I didn't make loads of money on that. And again, that can be a bit depressing, because it's like, wow, it's that much money and we put all this time and effort into it. Because it's not only creating the project, it's also running the Kickstarter. You know, I ran the Kickstarter, so I put all the imagery up. I thought of all the wording to put up there, all the which tier levels, you know, which reward levels to have. Created the video, although my brother did that. But do you know what I mean? It's like all these little things, all this extra stuff, and then spending time promoting it into Facebook groups and just trying to promote it wherever. So, you know, the amount of effort for rewards isn't balanced yet. But that's not going to stop me. No. Sounds like I'm just having a long whinge. I kind of am, I kind of not. Because that's part and parcel of it, isn't it? So I'm going to be doing that, and hopefully, if I can sell 20 books, 30 books, I guess that would be a good day. I mean, I don't really know what a good day is. And it's a catch-20, not a catch-22, but if you're in a book festival, that's great, because people are going to come that love books. So they're your audience. But again, it's numbers. So out of that audience, so say we had 500 people come over the 2 days, how many people are into fantasy? You know, 200 people? But then there are other fantasy authors as well. How much money have they each got to spend? Can they only afford to buy one book, or can they buy 2 books or 3 books? And is your book going to be one of them? You know, it's a tough market. It's a tough market. So there we go. So that is going to be what you know. It'll be an interesting experiment. I'm just going to look at it like that. It'll be an interesting experiment. I'm going to buy stock. I've never done that before, where I've bought stock. Well, I have actually the Legends of Grimace Ironblood, but that's when I had money. So I'm going to have to buy stock and then see how well it sells, and then I don't know if I've got stock left over, do another one, or try and, you know, do I get a market stall? How's it work? I don't know. I don't really know. I just write because I enjoy it. My royalties are split between the Eden Restoration Project and Parallel Alien Awareness. Oh, that's very good. Yeah. Parental Alienation Awareness. Yeah, no, that's brilliant. That's brilliant. And I'm like you, Gem. I do write because I enjoy it. I write and I create these projects because I enjoy doing them. Don't get me wrong. However, my part-time job, I kind of fell into. That's not what I want to be doing with my hours during the day. So I'm trying to launch all of this as a career, so I can cut back down those hours. So for me, there's a little bit more riding on this, because I don't want to be doing what I'm doing for the rest of the time, you know. But if I have to, I guess, you know. It's not a bad job, but it's just that it's not what I want to do. And that gets me down. Do you see what I mean? So this for me, this is kind of like, if something takes off, then fantastic. But yeah, I get what you're saying. You're right. I do that, and I've tried, you know, in periods in my life where I haven't been creative, and that gets you down, because if you're creative, you just feel like you need to create. But there is that nice, you know, there would be that nice moment when you know, a reasonable amount of people have read your book. I mean, that's nice. It takes a great dad to stand up for his brother's dads. Okay, not quite sure I understand that, but maybe you know something I don't. But yes, so no, that is very good of you to do that. Yeah. What else was I going to say? I'm the same. I'm only living here, doing a job so I can be on my girls. Yeah, and that is a different kind of thing. That's on. That's family. That family trumps everything, doesn't it? Basically. So I totally get where you're going with that, Jam. Absolutely, yeah. So yeah, it's all gone very heavy. Maybe it's because I've just woken up. Let me have some tea and honey. Well, we never know where these ramblings will take us. You know, I kind of go, oh, I'll roughly talk about that, I'll talk about that, I'll talk about that. I have a bit of a plan. You never know. Just doing my bit for others. Yeah, exactly. That's part of life as well, isn't it? Yeah, so well done. Well done. What was I going to say? I feel really spaced out. I think it has because I've just woken up. Oh, that's what I was going to talk about. Let's talk about this. Oh my giddy aunt. Realms of the Imagination. I did go to the British Library Fantasy Exhibition, and my word, it was fantastic. This was their specially commissioned poster that they got. I don't know how well you can see it, but can you see they've got loads of fancy references. Loads. There's Harry Potter, there's Ursula Le Guin, there's Terry Pratchett, there's all sorts in there. Humpty Dumpty's in there. It's just amazing. An amazing illustration. It's got a preface by Neil Gaiman. So this was an extraordinary exhibition. This is the book of the exhibition. Now there's much more in the book than there was on the exhibition. But they had loads of stuff. They had, just trying to look through it. They had, Sword in the Stone. They had Skyrim. They had Dark Souls. They had stuff I hadn't heard of, obviously. Lord of the Rings. Yeah, they had Gandalf's pipe, Gandalf's staff, and a really beautiful illustration by Alan Lee. They had Studio Ghibli stuff. What was it? Not Spirited Away. Was it Spirited Away? No. They had one of the other ones. So it was fantastic. Fallen London. They had Fallen London. What else did they have? Yeah. It was just amazing. I'm going to show you. Pretty sure they had that. Although I've seen that before. Right, anyway, I'm just rambling to myself. Yeah, King Arthur. You know, they had all the classics. King Arthur. There you go, some beautiful illustrations. This book is amazing. Watership Down. Oh look, there's Sword in the Stone. So they did, and also they had some original handwritten notebooks. They had not Terry Gilliam. They had Michael Palin's handwritten, pad from the Holy Grail, which was really fun. I just wonder if it's in here. They will have put it in here. And it had sort of names of the knights, but it had other knights that they didn't use. I can't remember the names they didn't use. But they also had... And then he ticked things that they were definitely going to use, which was really fascinating, So you're kind of seeing his creative process. That was fascinating. Oh yeah, they had this... I'd never heard of this. This really long illustration that again had loads of mythology, loads of fantasy stories in there. An ancient map of fairyland, newly discovered and set forth, designed by Bernard Slay, 1918. And what he'd done is he'd put you know, literature at the time. So things like Peter Pan. What else? Obviously, my mind's gone blank when I'm trying to talk to you about it. But you know, giants. They had in the illustration literature of the time and mythology of the time. So they might have had the Medusa. They might have had, I don't know, Thor on Mount Olympus. Oh, fried squid. Haven't had gastropod for a while. I haven't had fried squid for a while. I did like it. I did actually like it. I haven't had it too often. Is it nice? Is it nice? Yeah, so, and Fallen London was this video game. Has anybody heard of Fallen London? It was like this massive, kind of like an RPG, sort of an open world, but it was text-based. It was like over 4 million words. The things you can do with Great Many Weasels in Fallen London. Map of Fallen London, 1899, showing the combined. Yeah. So they had different sections in the exhibition. So they had portals, world building, magic, you know, creatures, and they also had videos of TV shows. So that was it. It was a good combination of TV shows, film, board games. They had Warhammer miniatures as well. They had Cthulhu stuff there as well. Costumes. So they had the costumes from Dark Crystal and Wicked as well. They had cosplay stuff as well. They had some cosplay costumes that were really cool. One was like a big tree, you know, like a Spriggan from Skyrim. They had that. Wait, that's another game. The one I saw was like Doom first person. It was a Taiwanese game, Con 14 years ago. Okay. Oh, the one I saw was a Doom first person shoot. Yeah, Fallen London. I vaguely remember when it came out. Vaguely remember it and didn't get into it. You know, I don't think I was really playing video games at the time that came out. But also set in London. Right, okay, cool. Yeah, this was more like the old style, you type in what you want to do, as far as I could tell. And then it just came up responses. But yeah, so it was an amazing exhibition. They really put a lot of thought into it. And so I have posted up into the Edra Tales website and on my own personal website, Facebook group, pictures from there, so you can have a look at those. And I've not even put half of them up, so I'll start putting them up again. But they were amazing, really, really good exhibition, and it was big. It took us about an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours to go through. Really good. They even had Xena. Do you remember Xena? Was it Warrior Queen? Xena from the 80s. And I never watched that as a kid. I should have done. Yeah, so they had Terry Pratchett stuff. They even had Terry Pratchett's notes there. What else? They had loads, you know, every sort of key fantasy was there, as you can imagine. It's the British Library. They know what they're talking about. So yeah, so I'm not sure if you can buy this online. You might be able to buy this online if you wanted to. It's £30, but it was one of those things where I didn't know if you would be able to or not. And I've done that before, where I've gone to fantasy exhibitions, not bought the book, and then gone, sorry, I'll get it at a later date, and then you can't get hold of it. So I did sort of indulge myself. This was a special treat. Fantasy, we know from the oldest stories in the oldest languages, have always been with us. Because it was folk tales as well. So yeah, it's fantastic. It was really good. The 80s text-based adventures, like the Tom Hanks character played in Big. Oh right, yeah, I've not seen Big. I know, shocking. Yes. Oh yeah, no, but I used to play those, Lee Rin. I used to play them. Hobbit. I'm pretty sure that it was the Hobbit or Lord of the Rings one, where you do it and I've been eaten by the dragon again. Engulfed in flames by the dragon again. And it literally was, yeah, you'd go, pick up stick, you cannot do that. Alright then, throw stone, you cannot do that. Shake the tree. You cannot do that. So it was very, very frustrating because there was a lot you couldn't do. And then you go, you know, like, kick the tree. You kick the tree. And that's it. And you go, oh, okay. So it was very frustrating. But they were still good fun, you know, because, you know, that format is always fun. So look how the advancements have happened in only a short time, 30, 40 years, to where we get to Skyrim, which is amazing. So yeah, that was fantastic. Really, really glad I went. It was £16 to get in, which I thought was very good value for money. If Ghibli and Japanese works are there, would you happen to have seen Sword Art Online related there? One of the most loved Japanese heroic fantasy works over the last 15 years. Oh, Sword Art Outline. That kind of rings a bell, and I would have only known that from there. It might well have been there. If it is as big as you say it is, or as important as you say it is, I mean, I could look it up in the book. What's it called? Sword Art. It's not in the listings here. That's not to say that it wasn't there, because although this is related to the exhibition, I know that this is essays by fantasy people, so I don't necessarily think they would include everything. But it could possibly have been there. Yeah. The Mists of Avalon was there. Yeah, Ursula Le Guin, some of her sketches. Just amazing. What did I just see there? I saw some... Yeah. So there we go. Sorry, I got a bit lost in that book there for a second. So what have I been working on as well? I've been mostly working on my murder mystery board game. Hurrah! And that is quite a head mess. I got a bit of a headache yesterday. Because trying to transfer a story... I don't know if you guys have ever done this before. But let's say you write a story... and I've got cards, and the players have to discover the story through the cards. It's a puzzle. It's a mystery. So that's what's doing my head in. So I've got, right, which bit? So I've got 13 witnesses, or suspects, 13 witnesses that you can question. I've got clues, I've got forensics, I've got hunch cards, so you can ask extra questions if you have a hunch about something. And so all of that information has to go onto the cards. So it's working out which bits of information go to which characters for them to ask. And it's really, really... Plus, I've got the characters... I wanted the characters that you witness, not Jehovah's Witnesses. I don't know, not those. They're not going to try and convert you. So, for example, Alice Cobham, she's the chief housemaid. So I got these little tokens and written who they are on them. Because what I wanted to do is when you go into a new room, it might say, move Alice Cobham into this room. And then she's got a new set of questions, that new set of answers for you to ask. So it's now, I've had to create these to keep track of where they all are. So this is panning out to be harder than I thought it was going to be. Although, no, that's not strictly true. I did think it was going to be hard, but it's even harder than I thought it was going to be. But I'm not giving up, because I think the format works, the mechanics work, and I think this is going to be a good game. So the basics are that you have, they're nowhere as half as scary as the Shirt and Salt Lake Mormon witnesses, really? I don't know. Oh, those ones, yes. Yeah, that is true. Yeah, that is true. I do remember, you know, I don't mind chatting to them. They come to the door, I'll have a little chat with them. And I do remember Jehovah's Witnesses saying, we have photographic evidence of Jesus. And I went, oh, yeah, really? And they went, yes, look, here, it's in our pamphlet. And I went, and it was an illustration. It was a pencil illustration. And I went, you do know that that's a pencil illustration. No, this is evidence. And I'm like, okay. This is where we're at. Even the English ones have American accents. Do they? Oh, they must have imported them over then. Yeah. So I am enjoying it. The basic premise is it's a cooperative game, 6 players, and you play one of the sleuths, and on your go you can do 2 of 5 actions. You can move, you can look at clues, you can look at forensics, you can play a detection power card, and what else can you do? Oh yeah, you can question witnesses. So you do 2 of those, and then after everyone's had a go, that's the end of, you know, round 1, for example, and then you move the timer 1 hour. So you've got 24 hours to discover who did it. Otherwise, they've got away. So that's the basic premise of the game. So I do think it's going to work. It's just putting the case onto the cards so that they can discover things as and when they need to. And also I need to lace in red herrings as well to make it, you know, harder. So there we go. So that's what I've mostly been working on, which is really nice. The other things that I'm going to have to do now is gear up for UK Games. I don't know if anyone's going to the UK Games Expo. That is the first weekend. It sort of spans the 31st of May, I think it starts. It's Friday, Saturday and Sunday. I think it's the 31st of May to the 2nd of June. And that is at Birmingham. I've been quite a few times. It's really good fun. It's busy. It's big. I think it's the biggest in Europe, or certainly the biggest in England, UK. Oh, lovely. Cassia's birthday. Oh, happy birthday. How old is she? She 8. The Mormon witness literally patrol Taiwanese streets in bicycles in groups of 2 and 3, stopping when they see a friendly and or sad fella, Jane, and they start recruiting. Yeah, on the 31st of May. Fantastic. Yeah, that's the thing. They go around recruiting, which I don't know how I feel about that. It's a little bit dangerous, but equally it's like they're just telling. You know, I don't know how it would be. It'd be like me going out going, do you want to read a book? Yeah, do you want to buy a book? Do you want to buy a book? Maybe I should do that. Do you want to buy a book? Dress up as, you know, my character, Loquacious McCarbre. So I am gearing up for UK Games Expo. Big issue. Big issue. Oh, the big issue. Oh, yeah, like the big issue, yeah. Well, that's for a good cause. You can kind of understand why people would want to do that. And part of UK Games is, you know, publishers are there, obviously, distributors are there. You know, it's like it's kind of like a hybrid. It's an industry thing, plus you got all the guests. You know, you got all the people that love playing board games. I guess customers, you'd call them, but you know, people like you and me that like playing board games. So I'm kind of got 2 hats on, because I'm going to go along as a designer, hopefully, because they do a thing called speed dating. I don't think it's specifically called that. I think, but anyway, where they match publishers with designers. So in March, the book's open where you can submit as many games as you like, and publishers, I don't know how many publishers it is, let's say 20 publishers, will vote on the top 10, I think it is, that they like, that they would want to see pitched to them. So it's a bit like Dragon's Den. And then if yours gets selected, you then go along on that I think it's Friday evening, and you know, there's a separate area where you will then go to the people and you go around pitching your game to them. So it's a good way, it's a speed dating, it's a good way just to say, okay, my game is about this, this, this and this, and any questions? And they go, yeah, oh yeah. And then you take along prototypes, and I guess you could leave prototypes with them. Or they could then say, oh, actually, yeah, I'd like to play that. I'd like you to demo that. Let's meet up tomorrow. You know, are you around tomorrow? Or are you around, you know, in an hour's time? So you do that outside of it. So if they want to take it further, like a second date, you then go off and, you know, show them the game. And they may or may not sign it there and then. You just don't know. So that potentially is quite exciting. So between Kedrick and I, we've got 4 games. We've got 2 independent games that we're designing independent of each other. Plus we've got 2 games that we've designed together. So we're going to pitch those 4 in the hope that those 4 get picked, and that, you know, we can pitch it to them. The thing about it is, even if it doesn't, I guess if you know, happen to be chatting to other publishers, they might be open for you just to say, oh look, I've got this prototype, do you want to have a look at it? The other thing about bringing your prototypes is you can go to the playtest area and let people just playtest. So there is that to it as well. So I was thinking of taking my party game along, those people. So I'm getting those people geared up to, I'm going to, you know, typeset that, and then get the prototype of those people, which is my party game. Yeah, you know about this one, don't you? Where basically you have those people cards, you have deserve cards, and you have however cards, and you have swear cards. And it would be, you know, you pick one and go, those people who drive up your arse honking their car horn. Those people who walk and look at their phone. Those people who claim to know what's best in any situation. And then you'd play a deserve card, like deserve to be tarred and feathered or whatever. And so it's like Cards Against Humanity. You're mixing sentences together to hopefully come up with something funny. And on each card there's points, and then, you know, whoever has the most points at the end of the game wins. So that is one of my own that I've designed. So yeah, so that is what I'm gearing up for. So I do need to get that sorted out. So I've got my Of Magic and Monkeys to order, to send, you know, to reorder stock. Well, I've only got one of these, so, you know, that's my proof copy. And then I do need to send off a prototype. So I don't know how much that's going to cost, because I need quite a few cards. So again, maybe I'll only get one prototype, or I'll do it, make it myself. Probably make it myself. That might be easier. Well, not necessarily easier, but it will be less expensive. So there we are. So that is what I've been working on, really. And tomorrow, what's that? Oh yeah, I've got a murder mystery this evening. And tomorrow, I am doing my first mediumship. Oops, looking at phone as I'm talking to you fellas. Time to practice my feathered chicken impression. Yeah. Were you looking at your phone, you see? Exactly. Exactly. Tar and feather him. Parade you through the street shouting, shame, shame, shame. Yeah. But this is the thing with that game. Because I thought, I'm quite a chill person, I'm quite relaxed. But there are still things that wind me up a little bit. You know, like somebody parking on a double yellow line and then putting their hazards on, and all they're doing is texting. You know, it's like, no, that's not what double yellow lines are for. Double yellow lines means don't park there at all. And also, if you've put your hazards on, that means that you're in trouble, that your car's broken down, or that you're in trouble. If you're just sitting there texting, ordering a pizza, then no, that doesn't happen. You know, it's things like that. So as I started writing them, I was like, oh yeah, and that one. Oh yeah, and that one. Oh yeah, and that one. And you were walking as well, Lerin. You know, and I started, and the floodgates open. And then when I've spoken to people about this, they go, oh yeah, what really winds me up is, you know, whatever. People parking in disabled places when they're not disabled, or whatever it is. So I know that this resonates with people. So this has got a good chance that you know, a publisher will pick it up, and also that it would sell quite well because, you know, people can relate to it, can't they? But oh yes, I'll just show you this briefly before we disappear. I am doing my first psychic fair. You know, those mind, body and soul fairs where people go along and there's people selling crystals, there's people selling tarot cards, people selling candles. You know, the mind, body, spirit kind of fairs. And also there's people there giving tarot readings and giving mediumship readings, psychic readings. You can order a pizza with text now. Man, I'm getting out of touch. I'm joking. Of course you can. Of course you can, can't you? Deliveroo. I've never done it myself. I don't know. An app? I don't know. It's probably more me being out of touch. Yeah, so I'm going for my first ever psychic fair tomorrow to give out spiritual readings, you know, psychic advice, spiritual advice. I used Just Eat. There you go, Just Eat a lot. There you go. So that is a flyer that my brother designed. He designed my logo for my mediumship. And there's all my blurb about myself and how the benefits of why you'd want to go to a psychic medium. So yeah, so I got some leaflets if anyone wants to take a leaflet when I'm there. Plus, I'm there to do live readings. So we're going to see how that goes. I mean, I've been doing mediumship now for 10 years, I would imagine. I can't remember now, but something like 10 years. Very smart logo. Oh, thank you. Yeah, it's my brother's. Yeah. It's nice, isn't it? It's sort of... I wanted... Because it's like two worlds, you know. You've got an angel and then you've got a human and they're hugging. It's that kind of... Yeah, it's a lovely logo. I couldn't think of a logo that wasn't cliched in a way, you know, that where I'd seen it a million times before. And my brother's a very good graphic designer, so I thought, why don't I just ask my brother? I don't have to design everything, Ken. So yeah, so I'm looking forward to that. I have been giving personal readings, you know, where they either come to my house or I do it on video for a long time now, maybe about 10 years. And I've always been curious about these psychic fairs. I did go to one last year that I think I talked to you about, and that was interesting. That was a really interesting place to go, and I enjoyed it. And I did get a tarot reading, and he did say, he said, yeah, you're feeling a little bit down about your creative projects and, you know, where you are, which was spot on. And also, because all I asked was, I said, can you focus on career? And then he said, yeah, he goes, now is not the time for the rewards to come to you. And this was true. This was sort of, I don't know, can't remember now, October time. He said, and then he kept going, laying the cards. He said, next year, you know, it's like you've been planting the seeds. Next year, you'll see the fruits of your labour. And he said, especially connected to spiritualism. And I was like, oh, okay, that's interesting. Because he didn't know at that point that I do this sort of thing. And so that was really interesting. And I do believe, it's like, yeah, that made sense. And so, and this is an interesting thing as well. I'll just quickly talk about this. Hang on. Where is it? Oh no. Where is it? Oh no, I've lost it. I've lost it. No, I can't lose this. It's my lucky charm. It's my talisman. No way. Hang on, hang on. I know this doesn't make great television. Hang on. Where's that gone? That can't just disappear. Oh my god, that is freaky. Right, I'm going to have to look for this later. That's really weird. So, he gave me... I put it over there. I know I put it over there. Because it was, I need to take this with me. Okay, well he gave me... Where's that gone? Anyway, he gave me a little jar. And in the jar is a few bits of crystals and like a sigil. With a, it's like a symbol on it. And at the end of the reading he said, okay, would you like one of these little spell jars? Well, at least you still got your Crown of Command, yeah. That is actually true, yes. I don't know where it's gone. It's a little glass jar with a little red stopper on it. It's beautifully made. And I said, well, because, yeah, they sort of mean they can attract different things. So I said, well, wealth, I do need money. I need wealth. So he said, okay, here it is. He said, carry that around with you. So I've carried it around with me. Normally keep it in my bag or, keep it on me. And I put it over there. I put it over there yesterday. Where is it? Anyway, and it said, that should attract wealth and money. So it's like, okay. And you go, really? Will it? Well, I've had more murder mysteries. Yeah, that's upped. And just other more mediumship readings as well. So it's like, okay, maybe there's something in that. I don't know. It's difficult to tell because obviously if I hadn't had it, would those murder mysteries all come in, all those bookings? And also tomorrow, did it give me a bit more confidence to book myself into doing a psychic fair? Possibly. Yeah, possibly. Because, I want people to get something from this, obviously. And then there's no guarantee that a loved one's going to come through. I don't know if any of you guys have gone to a medium or a psychic reader, but I'm fascinated by it, and I've had that gift, all my life. Grocklesnook is chewing up yours. Oh yeah, he is, isn't he? He's not eaten breakfast. Sorry, mate, you're going to have to eat the cushions. So, if nobody comes through, I don't charge, and I just say, yeah, don't worry about it. Sometimes there's no guarantee. I can't order spirits to come through, and I certainly don't want to make stuff up because that is rubbish. So I want to make sure that the person that's come through is their loved one. So I look for validation, and it's happened to me, I think, 3 times in the last 10 years where it's just not really worked. So I've just got to look. I won't charge you, and then we can say, let's try again, let's rearrange. So rearrange, and then normally it works, normally it comes through. So hopefully, when people do my reading, I get a bit nervous because it's like, I really want to help you out, and if it doesn't work, then I feel like I've let them down. Does that make sense? Yeah, but I got some business cards done as well, that my brother designed, the business cards. Look, there's the QR code. That goes to the booking. So these are nice. These are nice. Yeah. And I'm all set. I'm all set for tomorrow. So there we go. We're coming up for an hour, so I better let you guys go. Thank you so... Oh, there it is. I've got it. There it is. Look at that. I found it. So this is what he gave me. The tarot reader. So it's really sweet. There it is. God, I'm glad that I found it. So, this sort of taps into fantasy, doesn't it? A lucky charm. I dabbled in my early 20s. Okay, found visualization quite effective. Oh, fantastic, Jam. If I see a lizard in my dreams, it could be a bad day. There you go. Yeah, visualization and manifestation, I guess. Is that the same sort of thing where you visualize something and then it can come into your life? Leaving offers incense with fresh hot tea to the spirits of Grandpa, Grandma and Mum every morning for the last 15 years since I returned to Taiwan. I hope she's happy with my weight loss. That is so sweet. That is so sweet. And they will see that, Leaving, and I'm sure she's over the moon about your weight loss. If she'll say, this is what she'll say. I don't know if I'm tuning in or if this is just me saying this because I'm not open. I'm not officially open. If you're happy, she's happy. That's kind of how you know, that's how most mums think, isn't it? You're a great person. Lerin is a great person, absolutely. Yeah, yeah, that's amazing. They will appreciate that, definitely. And I'm a big believer that they, you know, that your parents and that your loved ones pop in and they sit with you and they help you and they kind of lift your mood. A big believer in that, absolutely. And that they, you know, keep an eye on you. And we've got our own spiritual guides as well that you can call on. Mark, mine's called Mark, and yeah, he facilitates the whole connection between this realm and that realm. I could talk ages on this, so I better let you go. Thank you so much for joining me. I really appreciate it. We were a few people short today, so you know, which was a shame. But you know, as I always say, real life events take place, take priority. No, thank you guys. Yeah, really appreciate it. Thank you, Lerin. Thank you, Jam. It's lovely to chat with you both, as always. It's a shame that Sally and all that can join in as well, but hey, that's their loss. No, I'm sure they're having a lovely time as well. And what else was I going to say? Yes, thank you for those people that follow the channel. Really appreciate it. If you haven't followed the channel, it does two things. It helps with the algorithms, and it also helps because you will be able to comment. I think with Twitch, you have to follow a channel in order for you to comment on their live streams. So if you do want to comment, please do that if you're watching this on playback. Really appreciate it. And as I say, our next live stream is Wednesday, 6:30 PM UK time, where we're going to be curse breaking. We are going to do this. We are so close to the end. And then the next one after that is 7 PM UK time on Friday. That is where we're going to get lost in random. It's a video game play, and that is a lot of fun as well. So thank you so much, guys. Thank you. Yeah, have a lovely weekend too, Jem. Thank you very much. And you, Lerin. And to all the Mythics watching, magic be with you always.